A very good evening to everybody. As promised, I'm here every day at 10 o'clock with something or the other as a new thing to be taught. Today's lecture is going to be based on... A very good evening to everybody. As promised, I'm here every day at 10 o'clock with... As promised. So I'm here today to pick up the lesson on to what extent do you agree or disagree? And this is an essay in which majority of the people get stuck very badly. So without wasting much of time, we will directly jump into this session. Here you are. To what extent do you agree or disagree? This is the essay that is causing trouble to a lot of people. And the reason for this is that majority of the people do not know which side to take, what to do, and how to write. So I will explain you part by part, the introduction, the body, the conclusion, everything in the essay, step by step. So I request you that in case you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel so that you can get a notification on whenever I get live. Mostly for IELTS, I am live at 10 p.m. every day. All these sessions which I'm taking are absolutely free of cost. There are no charges at all. So make it sure that you are there and you participate. Participate in the sense that whatever I ask, write it down in the chat box, which is very important because otherwise you will not know what is going on in the class. It's a very important thing. And I would not know what is the feedback that I'm getting out of the class. This is a blog, which is an amazing blog. And I'm going to take you to the blog also today. Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and this is the WhatsApp number. It will be very useful today because I am going to give you a brand new PDF file. This file is on essays. So I am going to give you this file on essays. And it is a surprise for everybody. That book is a surprise for everybody. I found that book. It is a very rare book, very rare book. Do take that book. These are our campuses for the offline classes: Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Gurugram, Kapurthala, Taran, Patala, and Gurdaspur. And we are taking classes everywhere from morning till evening. If you do not understand online classes, or if you do not understand YouTube classes, or you have a problem, please go to our campuses and fix your problem. Without fixing the problem, do not appear for the examination at all. Okay, do you want to get a new book? It is a new essay book by the world's most famous author in IELTS. By world's most famous author in IELTS. That person is talking about vocabulary and essay ideas. So please send a message, and all you have to write in the message is this: PDF for essay. That's it, PDF for essay. And they will send you a new PDF file. I'm going to give you a lot of books when you come here because that is what I do. I love to keep books, love to read books, and I distribute them a lot. So take this book from me, extremely good book. I'm not telling you the name. It's a surprise for you. When you see it, you will remember it as a treasure. It's a total treasure. That book is a treasure. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some information about a very important aspect called as CAPES notes or GCMS notes. I'm giving you this small piece of information every day so that you are empowered before you go to Canada or Australia or anywhere else in the world. These are very small aspects that I'm taking up, very, very small aspects. They are of extreme importance when it comes to their concept. So let us see the concept of this. CAPES stands for Computer Assisted Immigration Processing System, and GCMS stands for Global Case Management System. So both are almost the same. So what are they? I'll tell you how does it work. Now, suppose if you file your case for Canada, or if you file your case for America, you send them a full file. They will check your file page by page, and they'll keep on entering in the computer. What they enter into the computer, the whole history is stored there. Everything is stored there. These are called as CAPES notes or GCMS notes. Now, in case the visa gets refused or there is a problem with the visa, so what we generally do, we go to the embassy and we take out these notes called CAPES notes or GCMS notes. What do we do with this? We come to know the exact reason why the case has been refused. So yesterday, if you've taken my class, you must be remembering the case of Jyoti that I talked to you about. So today I have ordered her CAPES notes or GCMS notes. Why have I offered it? Why have I ordered it? Because I want to study what went wrong in the case. So once I know the detail that this is what went wrong, then I'll be able to make a reply and then reapply the case according to that only. A lot of people keep on applying again and again. And all these agents, which are like the fly by the night operators, they have no idea about how to handle refusals. So what they do, they simply tell, okay, fine, we'll change this. Let's reapply, let's reapply, let's reapply. And that spoils the passport of the person because you don't know how the embassy officer is thinking. That is very important. And that is what CAPES notes are. Very important thing. So in case your friend's refusal is there for Canada, tell that person to order for CAPES notes. They are very cheap. They are not expensive at all. Like hardly 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees is the cost of this. But you come to know the full history of the full case, like how that person assessed you. What was the report card? You totally come to know that. Only then apply for the reapplication of the visa. Otherwise, do not do it. So they are extremely important for refusal cases. We can check what the immigration officer saw and how they reacted on that. So before refiling the case, please get these. These are very important things. Let us go to predicted essays now. If you go to our blog, you will see that in the blog, this is the blog. Let me just make the screen a little smaller. Okay. And you go to IELTS, you go to writing of IELTS. And in case you go to writing of IELTS, you will see here essay predictions, predicted essays. Here, this is the one that I'm actually looking for, this one. To what extent do you agree or disagree? These ones, they are the ones that are very important. So today my topic is going to be connected to this only. So just go here and I'll tell you what to click. The moment you click on this, you will see a list of these writing topics, very huge list of the writing topics that is given here. And all of them are to what extent do you agree or disagree? And some of them are solved. So you can see them. It is very good for you. Very, very good for you. So these are my essay topic list, which are predicted. Okay. Very useful thing. Must do it. Okay. Now let us start our essay. What exactly is an essay? How does the examiner check the essay? First, let's talk about what exactly is an essay. Essay is a formal writing on a particular subject. There is one subject and the writing is there on that particular subject. So what is the writing? What is a paragraph? Let's see that. A series of sentences that are organized and coherent and are on single point. That is called as a paragraph on a single point. You can't have 5-6 points in a paragraph. That will clutter up the whole paragraph. Don't do it. One paragraph should not be one sentence. Minimum is 2 sentences. Keep that in mind. Now, what exactly is a sentence? A set of words that is complete in itself is called a sentence. I am going. This is not a sentence. You have to write the full thing. Where are you going? I am going to the market, which gives you the whole information. I as a subject, going as a verb, and market as an object. This is the complete sentence. You cannot write fragmented sentences in the essay. That will deduct your marks. Your marks will become very less, which is not a good idea. The next thing is types of sentences. We have got a simple sentence, then we have complex sentences, and then we have compound sentences. We also have other types of sentences called as complex compound sentences. That is later on, but first understand these. What are these? A simple sentence, complex sentence, and a compound sentence. A simple sentence consists of one SVO, subject, verb, and object. She returned the computer. She is a subject, returned is a verb, and computer is an object. A complex sentence is a sentence that contains a complex SVO like SVO, SOV. He sang a song, she danced. Now, she danced is not a full sentence, but if we combine them together, he sang a song while she danced. So now this becomes a complex sentence with a comma, with two sentence fragments together. That becomes a complex sentence. Let us see what's a compound sentence. A sentence containing two or more coordinate independent clauses, usually joined by one or more conjunctions, but not a dependent clause. I really need to go to work. I am too sick to drive. I really need to go to work, comma, but I am too sick to drive. This is one sentence. I can break it up. It will become two sentences. But when you break up the complex sentence, they don't become two sentences. They become one sentence and one fragment. So let me complete you. What exactly is a sentence now? There are three types of sentences. First is a simple sentence, then is a complex, then is a compound. A simple sentence contains a subject, verb, and an object. A very simple sentence, maximum up to 6 or 7 words. Now comes the complex sentence. Complex sentence contains one simple sentence and a fragment. Fragment means a small sentence which is attached to it. Now a compound sentence that contains two sentences or more than two sentences joined together. When we break them up, they become two separate sentences. If we join them, they'll become one sentence. But if we break the complex sentence, it becomes one sentence and one small fragment. So remember this, that this is extremely important for you to know, because in IELTS exam, if you use complex and compound sentences, you tend to get more band score because your grammatical range and accuracy, that concept of grammatical range and accuracy becomes better. Okay, so again, I'm telling you, there are three types of sentences called as simple, complex, and compound. Simple sentences are up to 7 words. Complex and compound sentences go up to 20 words. Now remember again, do not increase the sentence length beyond 20. If you increase it beyond 20, it is impossible for the examiner to understand what is going on. He becomes ultra confused. He says, oh my God, what is this? This is a very huge sentence. I can't figure out what's going on. Okay. So now sentence length, 7 is minimum, 15 to 20 is maximum. Please do not increase this more than 15 or 20 words. If you increase it more than 15, 20 words, examiner will get too irritated to check your work. Okay, now here is the slide which you should keep a screenshot of always with you. I am going to give you the background. Background means there are 20 basic types of essays. Let us see what they are. I'm going to mark them so that you know what they are. Essays can be on advertising, environment, music, clothes, fashion, town and city, physical appearance, business, accommodation, books and films, sports, technology, relationships, holiday, personality, shopping, weather, health, work, education, and food. Now, the book that I'm giving you today, that PDF book, contains ideas and vocabulary on all of these. Extremely good book. You will love the book. When I read the book, I was in love with the book. That is why I'm giving it to everybody. Beautiful book, must do it. Now, the types of tasks are, the first is agree or disagree, what we are going to do today. Second is cause, effects, and remedies. Third is advantage and disadvantage. Fourth is discussion. Fifth is question type. Sixth is positive or negative development. And seventh is a hybrid kind of an essay. So when you combine the background and the task together, you get an infinite number of the essay topics, infinite number of essay topics. And that is the main IELTS, Now, you don't have to remember every kind of essay in the world. It is not possible for you to do it. So how do we generally handle things? We understand these backgrounds and we understand how to handle these tasks. So when we combine them together, you form a beautiful essay. That is how we work on it. Okay? A very simple concept. So don't worry, we are going to fix it up. Every day you are here for the class, I'm going to teach a part of it every day. Okay. Now, agree and disagree subtypes. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree? To what extent do you disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, these are different types of question types under agree and disagree only. So let us see what is further than this. The next one is, how do you attempt it? How do you attempt, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay. Now, this is an opinion kind of an essay. You have to give your opinion that are you agreeing to it or are you disagreeing to it? Why are you agreeing or why are you disagreeing? And if you're partially agreeing, then again, why are you partially agreeing? You have to give reasoning, your opinions about everything. Understand what the question is asking. Decide your point of view, what point of view you have. Make your point of view clear in the introduction and the conclusion. Suppose you write down, I agree in the introduction, and in the conclusion, you say, I disagree. The whole essay will be marked as wrong. You will lose a lot of marks. What is the point? Decide to use how to use your 2 or 3 body paragraphs. Either you make 2 paragraphs or you make 3 paragraphs. You should know how to use them. Here are the positions now, which is again a very important slide. Please take a screenshot of this and keep it with you, handy with you forever till your IELTS exam is complete. Till your IELTS exam is complete, it should be in your mobile phone all the time. So you should know what are the positions that you can take while solving this essay. Now, what you can do, if the topic is to what extent do you agree or disagree, you can fully agree, I completely agree. You can fully disagree, I completely disagree. You can partially agree, that fine, I partially agree to this. You can majorly agree. Majorly agree means like you write 2 paras on agreement and you write 1 para on disagreement. And you can majorly disagree, which means you can write 2 paras on disagreement and 1 para on agreement. And in partial, you can write 1 para in agreement and 1 para in disagreement. And in fully agree, you write 2 agreement paras. And in fully disagree, you write 2 disagreement paras. Pretty logical, pretty simple. This is not rocket science at all. So I'm just giving you an idea what you can do and what position you can take. This is a very, very simple concept. Don't mess up your mind. Don't mess up your mind. Don't overthink here. Just remember these positions. We will fix it up later on. Okay? So just do not overthink here. Let me go forward and then we'll come back to it again. Then comes totally agree. How do you structure this essay? You write intro, you write agree para, you write agree para, write conclusion. Totally disagree, intro, disagree, disagree, conclusion. Partial agreement, intro, agree, disagree, conclusion. Partial disagreement, intro, disagreement, agreement, conclusion. Majorly agree, intro, agree, agree, disagree, conclusion. Majorly disagree, intro, disagree, disagree, agree, and conclusion. So these are the ways you can structure your para. So now let's go forward. I'm fixing all the parameters for you. All the parameters in the sense that I'm not leaving anything to imagination for you. I don't want you to imagine something weird and say certain teachers this. That doesn't make sense to me. So now, how many paras are required? What is the word limit of the para? How do you structure a para? We are going to talk about everything so that you are not confused after this lecture. Next lectures, we will see something else. But this lecture, I'm going to make it sure that you understand to what extent do you agree or disagree properly. Okay. All right. Now let's go further. Structure of the essay. Suppose you make 4 paras or you make 5 paras. I'll tell you how to structure. Introduction will be 30 to 50 words. Body para 1, 80 to 100 words. Body para 2, 80 to 100 words. And conclusion, 30 to 50 words. If you do the total, you can come to know this is above 250. If you make 5 paras, then what do we do? Introduction, 30 to 50 words. Body para 1. Now understand body para 1. How does that work? Body para 1 is 60 to 70 words. Body para 2, 60 to 70 words. Body para 3, 60 to 70 words. The length should be almost equal. I'm not saying count every word and make it absolutely equal. It should be almost equal. Visually, it should look beautiful. And when we come to the conclusion, it comes out to be 30 to 50 words once again. So this is the look of 4 paragraphs and 5 paragraphs. So I hope you are very clear with what is 4 paragraphs, what is 5 paragraphs now. Introduction breakdown, para breakdown. So what are you going to write down in the introduction? I am going to cover that as well. In the introduction, you should write 1 para. There should be 30 to 50 words, as we have discussed. There should be 2 or 3 sentences. Use a strategy called PT strategy. Now, what is PT strategy? You should make 1 or 2 sentences on paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means explaining the sentence in your own terms, the question statement in your own way. How do you have to explain in your own vocabulary? And you should write T. T stands for thesis. What is thesis? Thesis means your point of view of the whole essay. PT. I'm repeating it again. PT. Introductory para, 30 to 50 words. 2 to 3 sentences. In this, you write 2 things only. First thing is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means writing down the essay topic in your own words. T, thesis. Thesis means whatever has been asked, to what extent you agree or disagree, what are the advantages and disadvantages, that you should write down. Your position should be written there very clearly. So these are the 2 things that you need to write. Paraphrasing can be done in 1 or 2 sentences. Thesis should be in 1 sentence. So you totally get either 2 sentences in the paragraph or 3 sentences in the paragraph. A very simple technique. Nothing will go wrong in this. Body para breakdown. How do you write a body? Body should have either 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs, as I have already discussed. 80 to 100 words in case it is 2 paragraphs. 60 to 70 words in case there is 3 paragraphs. 5 to 7 sentences using MSEF strategy. Now, what is MSEF strategy? We will understand. Sentence 1 should be the main point. Remember, a para should be based only on 1 main point and not 10, 15 points. Just 1 main point means 1 para. 2, 3 sentences, write down on supporting points. That is the S. Write example. And the last one should be the final wrap-up. Final wrap-up means to wrap up the whole paragraph, you should write 1 sentence, which means the whole essence of the paragraph is mentioned in that. So this is the idea on what you should do. Sentence number 1 should be the main point. Sentence number 2 and sentence number 3 should be supporting points. Sentence number 4 and sentence number 5 should be example. And sentence number 6 should be final wrap-up. So total 5 to 7 sentences you can easily make here. Clear? Let's go forward. Conclusion para breakdown. It should be 1 para. The number of words should be 30 to 50. 2, 3 sentences using ASR strategy. Now, what is ASR strategy? Sentence 1 is answering the topic. Sentence 2 is summarizing the essay. And sentence 3 is recommendation, opinion, optional if it is asked. Then you give it ASR. Otherwise, you simply summarize the whole thing by answering the topic. That is my sentence breakdown in a conclusion. I hope it is extremely clear to you. So now, let us check the blog. I have just shown you the blog, so I'm not going back to it. Okay. So I'm just going to show you some essay topics which are there. You can think about it. So let me just talk over them. The first essay topic is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? And this is my essay topic here. This is my essay topic here. The growing number of overweight people is putting a strain on the healthcare system in an effort to deal with health issues involved. Some people think that the best way to deal with this problem is to introduce more physical education lessons in the school curriculum. To what extent do you agree or disagree? That means these should be put up in the school curriculum or not, or something should be put up, something should not be put up. Anything, whatever your stand is, you have to write that stand. And this topic is based on physical fitness. Let us see one more topic. Then we'll solve one also. Languages are dying out all the time, which means that the number of languages are finishing. The result of this is that the world with the fewer languages. This is a good thing for people everywhere. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So let us see. The third one. The government's investment in arts, music, and theater is a waste of money. Government should invest these funds in public services instead. Now, what is a public service? Like hospital, infrastructure, schools, roads, sewage systems, all these things, public services are there. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? So let us plan, and some discussion is required. So I will ask you to write down in the chat box. I'll ask you, don't worry. First is introduction. I write BP1, public services, better quality of life, curing of diseases. BP2, arts and culture, intellect, amusement, and conclusion, combination of both. I am going to take this approach. This is my approach here. For this particular essay, I'm going to solve this essay, and this is my approach for the essay. So now I will do some discussion with you, and you are going to write down in the chat box on what do you think. Now, first thing, if the government spends money on art galleries, museums, theater, things like this, what is the benefit to the public? Write down in the chat box, what is the benefit to the public? If the government is spending money on arts and culture, what is the benefit to the public? Write it down. On the second side, if the government is spending money on infrastructure, building up airports, building up railway stations, laying new lines for railways, laying new roads, developing schools, developing hospitals, things like that, what is the benefit of that? Write down in the chat box. Write down in the chat box both these things. If the government spends money on public services and if the government spends money on art, what is the benefit? Write down in the chat box. Let us see. I'm going to read out what you're writing so everybody will know. Great. Now, Varinder Singh has written a beautiful concept. He says, to know about their heritage if the government is spending money. Dilshad Malik says the development of the nation will happen in case the government spends money on infrastructure. Jasmine Kaur says you preserve the culture and heritage. Very nice, very good. Write some more points. Write some more points so I can speak it out to you so that people can read the chat and they can understand how the discussion is going on. Please write down as much as you can. Okay. So I'll keep on writing it down. It's benefit for the public. Rajni Bhagat says it's benefit for the public. It is very beneficial for the public. Great. Okay, so this is my idea. If we spend money on public services, people will have a better quality of life. We can cure diseases. We can educate people. The people will have better transportation, better communication. BP2. If you spend money on arts, what will happen? Your culture will increase, people's intelligence level will increase, people will be happy, they'll be amused. In conclusion, I'm going to write both. Okay, so let me write this essay for you. Okay, in case you haven't followed us on social media, I request you to subscribe to our channel so that whenever I am live, and I am live every day at 10 p.m. for your IELTS, I'm there. I'll take up one small topic and I'll cover that topic so that next time you don't have to even think about that topic because it will go in your blood. A blog, which we have already discussed, and these are our social media handles. Do follow us. Write down this number, which is very, very important for you. Why is it important? I'll tell you. This is important because There's an essay book today. There's a surprise gift for everybody. I am going to give you all a gift, but for that, you have to do some kind of effort. And the effort is just send a message, send me the PDF file. Otherwise, I would not know whom to send, right? So send me a PDF file and I immediately send that PDF file for you. I found this book. It is a beautiful book. It's a mind-blowing PDF book. Just go through it. Even if you read, it's 150 pages. Even if you read, say, about 10, 20 pages, it is a life-changing book. It's a beautiful book. Must read it. Okay. All right. So now let us solve this essay. The government's investment in arts, music, and theater is a waste of money. Government should invest these funds in public services instead. So first, I'm going to write the introduction. I'm going to paraphrase it. How will I paraphrase it? Let us see. This was the essay topic, and I am going to paraphrase it like this. First, I'll read this for you. This was the original one, and this is my paraphrased version. This is my paraphrased version. The government's investment in arts, music, and theater is a waste of money. It is often argued that government should finance public services instead of spending its budget on arts, music, and theater. Now, governments should invest these funds in public services instead. So what I have done, I have simply changed the language and I have done the paraphrasing. Some vocabulary words I have changed, something I have changed, and immediately the paraphrasing happens. It is very simple to do paraphrasing. Just do 5 or 6 essays. You will understand how to paraphrase an essay. Now we will write the thesis statement and we'll understand what is thesis statement. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? So I have to give an answer to this, okay? My answer to this is going to be, although I agree that government's investments in public services play a very important role, comma, I think that proper funding of arts sector is also crucial for the society. So I have taken both the sides. I am in partial agreement. On one side, I'm saying government's investment on public services plays a very important role. On the other side, I'm saying arts sector is equally important. That means I am partially agreeing, which means I have to make 4 paragraphs. Introduction, BP1, BP2, conclusion. My BP1 will be one side, my BP2 will be the other side. My BP1 will be based on infrastructure, the government spending on the public sector. My BP2 is going to be based on arts. So let us talk about final look of the introduction first, and then I will go to the body. It is often argued that government should finance public services instead of spending its budget on arts, music, and theater. Although I agree that government's investment in public services play a very important role, I think that proper funding of arts sector is also crucial for the society. Now, this is a beautiful introduction, and it has not costed me any time. It was in my mind. I simply wrote it, and it's ready in front of you. BP1, the main point. On the one hand, government should definitely allocate a large part of its budget on public services. This is my main point. I am spending money on public services. I means the government is spending money on public services. Now, support system. How am I going to support it? This economic sector determines the overall quality of life, ensuring that some basic services like schools, hospitals, and roads are available to all citizens, irrespective of their income or social status. So now I will write BP1 support 2. Public services satisfy the primary needs of the society and thus need a proper funding. While artists and musicians are not curing diseases or building houses, so their role is secondary. Now I will give an example. How to give an example? For example, any country can live without music concerts, but absence of medicine will create significant problems. In the end, I'm going to wrap up. Wrap up means I am going to wrap up the whole paragraph properly. How do I wrap up? Let us see. That is why government should spend adequately public services in the first place. So now I am going to have a final look of the essay, BP1. This is how the BP1 looks like now. On the one hand, the government should definitely allocate a large part of its budget on public services. This economic sector determines the overall quality of life, ensuring that some basic services like schools, hospitals, and roads are available to all citizens, irrespective of their income or social status. Public services satisfy the primary needs of the society and thus need a proper funding. While artists and musicians are not curing diseases or building houses, so their role is secondary. For example, any country can live without music concerts, but absence of medicine will create significant problems. That is why government should adequately finance public services in the first place. This is my final look of BP1. It is 80 to 90 words and it is in front of you. What I have done, I have simply followed my formula. So let me tell you once again, I have a structured formula of an essay. The introduction, that is the first paragraph, should have the formula called as PT, paraphrase, thesis. Every body para should be based on 4 parameters: main point, supporting point, examples, and final wrap-up. Main point should be 1, supporting point should be 2, example should be 1, final wrap-up should be 1 sentence. So this is my 5-6 sentences of one BP1. All clear, all simple, all very, very focused on this. Let us write BP2 now. Exactly in the same manner like I wrote BP1, I am going to write BP2 exactly in the same manner. So let us see how does that look like now. So I go to BP2. We will talk about the main point here. On the other hand, in the first para, I wrote on the one hand. Now I'm writing on the other hand. Arts, music, and theater are not a waste of money, since they are an integral part of society's cultural and intellectual development and amusement. So this is the topic that I'm handling in BP part 2, that arts is very important. Okay. So let's support it now. How and why is it important? Let us see this. So let us see this. Firstly, art and music draw people's attention to diverse phenomena and represent the inward significance of things. You know, in the support, the first support, I can also write an example immediately after that. There is no hard and fast rule that I have to write the example in the end. I can write the example in the middle also. That is perfectly fine. So I am going to write down in the middle now. Quite often, a single drawing, piece, or song can exhort myriads of people to reconsider their attitude towards some situation. I know you have a problem in this vocabulary. Does it matter? Google it. Find it out. What's the meaning of this? It will help you out to improve your vocabulary. BP2 support now. Moreover, visiting museums, watching movies, and listening to music are common ways of relaxation and entertainment. Now the wrap-up. Thus, art sector is also important for the society and should not be neglected. Now let's see the look of the whole para. How does it look like? Now this is my BP2. Now if you see the length of BP1 and BP2, they're almost the same because my formula is working very well. On the other hand, arts, music, and theater are not a waste of money, since they are an integral part of society's cultural and intellectual development and amusement. Firstly, art and music draw people's attention to diverse phenomena and represent the inward significance of things. Quite often, a single drawing, piece, or song can exhort myriads of people to reconsider their attitude towards some situation. Moreover, visiting museums, watching movies, and listening to music are common ways of relaxation and entertainment. Thus, arts sector is also important for the society and should not be neglected. Now we come to the last part that is called as conclusion. Let us see the first sentence of the conclusion. To conclude, I agree that government should allocate a large part of its budget on urgent needs of the society like public services. Conclusion, second sentence. But art forms should be financed since they play an important role in people's development and entertainment. Final, to conclude, This is the look of the final paragraph. To conclude, I agree that government should allocate a large part of its budget on urgent needs of the society like public services. So I have covered one part, but art forms should also be financed since they play an important role in people's development and entertainment. Second part, my partial agreement is absolutely justified now. I spoke in the first para that I'm going to partially agree. And in the end, I have proven it that I'm partially agreeing to it. So if I look at the essay, final look of the essay, this is the final look of the essay now. Now, let me show you some very nice facts about this essay. See the introduction, see the conclusion, almost the same length. See this BP1 and see this BP2, almost the same length again. Now, this is the final wrap-up line, which is optional. If I cut out this line, if I cut out this line, and if I cut out this line, and if you feel the essay is, becoming overworded, you can simply cut it out. If it's underworded, you can add it. If it's overworded, you can cut it out. There is no hard and fast rule again. So my total wording in this essay using this formula was 298, which is not bad at all. I generally tell people to write down an essay which should be like 250 to 280 words. This is what I tell people to do. So now you'll say that your 18 words are above this. That's all right. 280 it's fine. 10, 15 words here and there is fine. But 250 is the minimum. You should not go below 250. Now, if you're very specific that I don't want to cross 280, doesn't matter. So I'll show you a technique how to do that. I'll cut out the final wrap-up lines and I'll show you the essay without it. It becomes 270 words now. I have removed the last lines from BP1 and BP2. Now look at the look of the essay. Introduction, conclusion look same. Body para 1, body para 2 look the same. It has got proper conclusion. It has got proper introduction. Proper examples are there. Points are given very finely. The whole essay is very well-balanced essay. This is called as a very well-balanced essay. So now let us talk about it again. To what extent do you agree or disagree? I have got 5 positions. Completely agree, completely disagree, majorly agree, majorly disagree, and partially agree. These are my 5 positions. I can take any position that I want to. Either I'm going to make 4 paras or I'm going to make 5 paras. If I say I majorly agree, I'll make 5 paras. If I say I majorly disagree, I'll make 5 paras. All right, very simple, very clear-cut. Now the wording of the essay. Introduction should be 30 to 50 words. Conclusion should be 30 to 50 words. Body para 1, body para 2 should be equal in length, about 80, 90 words each. If there are 2 body paras, if there are 3 body paras, 60 to 70 words each. Again, I have given you all the parameters. Now the formula how to write the essay in a beautiful way. In the introduction, that is para 1, I am going to write down PT, paraphrase, thesis. In the body para, both the body paras or 3 body paras, I am going to follow the same formula. That is main point, supporting point, example, and final wrap-up. This final wrap-up is optional. In case your wording is lesser, add it. In case your wording is more, forget it. Okay? The conclusion. Follow the ASR strategy. A means answering the question. S means summarizing the whole thing, and R means asking for a recommendation or remedial action. In case it is asked, only then you'd say, otherwise there's no need to say. This is again optional. Basically, answering the question and summarizing your whole essay is the meaning of the conclusion. So now let us go back to it. In case you haven't followed us on social media and haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do subscribe. And it's always a good idea to comment something. I can come to know what do you want. I can come to know what is the next session that I'm going to take. So I'll just tell you tomorrow's session, what is going to be. My tomorrow's session is going to be based on listening, and I am going to cover maps in listening. I'm going to be covering maps in listening. A very important aspect, maps in listening. Don't worry, I have got so much of material, so many lessons I have got that I can teach for full 5 years and still nothing will get repeated. Do not worry about the content. So just tell me what do you want. Write in the comment boxes. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. We have these campuses are offline: Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Gurugram, Kapurthala, Tarantaran, Batala, and Gurdaspur. In case you're having a problem, you're not able to understand YouTube or online, I do understand that my lectures are in English, but again, IELTS cannot be taught in Punjabi or Hindi, which is very important. And I don't know how people are teaching in Punjabi and Hindi. Okay. So this is the essay book. Please write down on WhatsApp number. I'll give you this beautiful gift. Just write down essay PDF. That's it. Or you can say send essay PDF. That's it. And they will immediately send you a beautiful surprise book, which is very, very good for you. Very beautiful surprise book. Trust me, you are going to remember me for this. And with this, we come to the end of a session. And thank you so much for attending the session and being here. Good night. All the best. See you tomorrow at 10 p.m. for listening on Maps. I would expect your comments in the chat box. I'm going to read out some comments for you before I wind up the session. Varinder Singh wrote a very nice thing. He said, improve the living standard of people that leads to nation on the path of glory. So Gil Saab wrote, people can get more knowledge about ancient times. Gil Saab also wrote, tourism will be increased. Arshpreet Kaur says, I have a problem in writing conclusion. Arshpreet, now I have told you how to write a conclusion. Write it down. If you face a problem, I've given you a WhatsApp number. Just send your message there. I'll arrange another class for you. Okay. Now, Ruby Devi says, please, sir, listening multiple choice questions. Ruby, I just covered multiple choice questions yesterday. If you see my yesterday's live session, I have covered 2 days, yesterday and day before yesterday, on multiple choice questions only. Just see them. Dilshad Malik says, I have a problem in reading in summary fill-ups. Dilshad, point noted. I'm going to take the class on that also. Varinder, sir, are you covering speaking concepts? Yes, Varinder, I will cover speaking concepts day after tomorrow. I'm covering the speaking concepts. Rajni Bhagat, thanks, sir. I also do IELTS on your center. Most welcome, Rajni. Dilshad Malik says, I have some problems in reading, fill up, and summary. Dilshad, your point is noted. Do not worry. We will fix it up for you. Okay. And I would love to have your comments. I would love to know that if you're liking these sessions and what should I add in the sessions to make it more productive for you. That will help me so that I can help you. All right. Your comments are always very valuable. And I read each and every comment or whatever you write. Even if you write a bad comment, it's always welcome, but write something. That is more important.